Are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Is this thing on?
It is.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice.
Welcome to the show to you.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to have you back.
Nice to have you back.
Wow. She's just going to mimic everything I say.
I'm just going to mimic everything he says.
This is great.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if I'm not mistaken, last week was the big giveaway.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Lots of folks won lots of juicy, good items. Anything you want to share about that? Anything you want to say?
I have a couple people that haven't even checked in for their item.
Oh.
Irene Pellegrino.
Irene?
I know. She hasn't
Like,
emailed
she's
me
a
back.
super fan.
And then whoever won the 30-minute consult hasn't emailed me back either.
Oh, somebody, they were on Facebook just talking to me about that they won the consult with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we need an email.
I emailed her.
But I mean, we need a message
Yeah, we
back.
need an email back, so.
Unless you want a Facebook consult, right?
Which isn't quite the same value.
No, not quite the same thing at all.
And another thing that's exciting is that I put all those names in this fancy baggie that I've had at the Good Dog here for like 3 years, and I just keep reusing it, so I'm kind of eco like that.
So eco.
You can tell. So all those names are in here, and I think Sean doesn't remember this, but we're actually gonna draw one more name out of here
Okay, cool.
tonight. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love like surprise news.
Surprise. What else?
Well, so it went really well. We were sad that Cece wasn't here, but it went really well. Lots of folks were really excited to win, and we ended up giving away more prong color DVDs than we had even talked about.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a secret little surprise.
It's just so fun.
Yeah, it's it's really fun to give stuff away, especially to folks that are looking for it, that are excited about it.
Yeah.
So that's that. We're big congrats to everybody who won. Anybody who won, who was notified, who hasn't notified us back, please do so, so we can get your stuff to you. Because
2 prong winners, Irene being one of them, and the 30-minute consult.
Yeah, you don't want that stuff going to waste. And with that, I'm going to jump on into the show, because I know no matter how tight we try and make this, we seem to always go a little bit long in this. Why? Because we're trying to give so much value, because we're trying to help so much, and because the love is so deep that there's no way that's CC. Don't.
Sure.
You see it? Could he be here this quick?
Just introduce us by the time.
Okay. Hey, everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog. It's Sean from The Good Dog. And this, to my right, is the always perpetually hungry for Indian food, and with some flamingly blue, awesome,
fancy,
cool,
like
diamond-encrusted nail action, is the lovely Laura Morgan, who we're always happy to have here sitting with us. And everything, this stuff, all this great stuff, is the Good Dog's Q&A Saturday, episode number 73. We've really got this down now. I think we've kind of like moved into a new zone on this.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's, it took like the training wheels. It took a while to get the training wheels off.
That's all right.
But I'm doing wheelies now. Oh, by the way, for you guys watching, Periscope is also recording live.
Yes.
So if you see me look over here and make like some kind of like ridiculous faces, it's not just because I've got like facial tics or anything. It's because Periscope is live over there, and so I'm playing to them just a little bit, just to keep them in the mix.
Keep them in the mix.
Laura Morgan, lay it on me, lady.
Question number 1 comes from Monica.
I'm ready. I wish we had. You know what would be so cool if we had Rocky music to play. Dun, 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 dun,
I can do it.
And I could like
I can do it.
Put a robe on me, and I'm like
a robe. You want a robe?
Yeah, like and with like red, white, and blue like boxing gloves and shorts. Like,
I have white boxing gloves.
I need red, white, and blue.
Oh.
And I need boxing. You have boxing shorts?
No.
No, I need boxing shorts that are red, white, and blue. I need the whole one. Anyways, okay.
This could be a great cutaway.
Okay. Anyways.
Question number 1.
Can you superimpose my face over Rocky?
No.
No.
We'll just make you wear all that
Okay,
shit.
awesome.
All right. Comes from Monica. Monica
Yes.
says, when you first start training a dog, is there a certain order you teach commands?
Monica.
Great question.
Yeah. Did you see what I wrote? Good question. Right?
Get out of my brain.
Right? So we do share a brain. Anyways, so I've got a couple notes just because I want to make sure we get this right for you. So the answer is yes and good question. And then what we actually do is typically before we get into like traditional commands or anything like that, the official commands, we always do thresholds, crate, and waiting for food. So those are like not really commands, but those are things that are absolutely essential. If you've seen my most recent rant, which is talking about flanking the dog, it's talking all about that stuff, using small moments to create behavioral shifts in the dog, right? So crate, thresholds, waiting for food. Start there, right? Before you get to commands. Then once you go to commands, typically we'll start with the structured walk and place command on the first day with the dog, right? Once the dog's stable and in a good spot, then we'll go out on a walk, whether it's prong collar or, e-collar, one way or another, whichever is going to best serve the dog. We want to get a structured walk happening because that's going to have a huge impact on the dog's state of mind. From there, later on in the day, we'll bring the dog in and we'll fly them in on an airplane because it tends to up their confidence. And after they drop them off, usually they parachute out of the airplane. We'll teach them place command, right? So basically on that first training session, we're really looking to get like all those first things I said. Then I want to get the walk. Then I want to get place command. Those are both really great. The walk starts to really create a nice kind of like inhibition, impulse control, deferential behavior to the handler, and then place command starts to slow the brain down, get rid of adrenaline, get the dog focused. From there, moving on like day after day after day after, we go for sit, and then we go for down, and then we go for recall. And the only adjustment to that would be is like if the dog's in a pretty good spot on the walks, we may start introducing like sit, like just without a command, just pressure up to create the auto sit on walks like that. Right. So if that makes sense, we're talking about like do all the basics, then go to, I'm going to cycle back because this one's really important. Do all the basics because they're so essential before you try and do any freaking commands. Get those basics of crate, waiting for food, and thresholds. Get those down. Then nail down your walk. Then nail down your place. You can do those all in the same day.
I can actually link those up.
And then I want you to do sit, and you can do sit like on place, and then down, you can do down on place. And then for us, we like to start working recall from there after we've got those other things going. That's basically our structure for it. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. And Laura can link it up and make the magic happen for you.
Magic.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yep.
Question number 2 comes from Charlene.
Why does this coffee make me so happy?
I don't know. You're always dancing.
I am. I get excited when the camera goes on, and I know the pretty light's on because then it's gonna make me pretty. And then I got my coffee. Like, you know what it is? It's the cumulative effect of a lot of things, anticipating a lot of good things.
Right.
Cece's gonna be here. He's gonna blow the world up. Indian food's gonna show up. We've got a couple cookies like remaining over there.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of good stuff on your brain right now.
Yeah. So and I get to chat and I'm just happy.
Just in your happy place. I love
it's okay.
It, Sean.
It's okay.
It's great.
Okay. So this question goes to Laura Morgan. Do you want me to read it to you?
Wow.
Do you want the big switcheroo?
Right.
I love it, guys. All right, so here's notes in case you want to just take a little peek-see.
Just put it down. There we go.
She's got good eyes. She doesn't need to have it in front of her like that. Okay, so we're looking at Charlene, right? So Charlene says or asks, once in a while when we have people in the house that are afraid of dogs, we will put our Leon burger, which I don't even know if you know what a Leon burger is. It's a big freaking dog. A Leon burger in her kennel. She will not stop barking, and I don't know how to teach her this I don't know how to teach her this is not an acceptable behavior. Help, please. And I don't know if you saw Casey, not Cleek, because Casey just basically rolled down from your information prior. So
she's awesome.
Yeah.
So okay, Charlene. So Sean gave me this question. I hope you don't mind. So
No, stop undermining like you.
I'm not
there-
undermining.
No,
They're
but
just here for you.
that's not true. A lot of people say, and there's even an update in here where they're like, "Yeah, Sean was great, but then you dropped the great information." I was like, "Well, I was contemplating like, do I delete this? Do I get rid of this?" Right. So, plenty of people want to hear from you.
No, I'm just messing around. Okay, Charlene. So,
Can you link up false humility?
no, that's rude. I'm not being false.
Almost said false humidity.
All right,
Go ahead.
Charlene. So, we need to get your dog e-collar conditioned to be able to correct with the e-collar in the crate. So even if you don't want to do a full thing, you know, with a place command, recall, sit down, all that stuff, heel, unleash, whatever, with the e-collar, you get an e-collar, get a mini educator or one that has 1 to 100 levels,
Yeah,
or 1
a
to
good
127.
quality one. Yeah.
Not one that has like 8 levels, because the difference between 1 and 2 might be way too much for your dog. 1 is too low, 2 is too high,
Yeah.
whatever. With your big guy, it's probably like between 7 and 8 or whatever. But you want to get one of those, the higher quality e-collars, and just teach one of the basics. So Sean wrote down recall here. That's awesome. You can start with that. You can start with place command. It's really easy to do. So basically what you're doing when you're teaching a basic like that is just getting your dog conditioned to the e-collar sensation. So instead of just like putting it on him, he's in the crate barking, and you correct at a high level and he's like, holy crap, what is that? Where did it come from? I don't know what that is. I don't know what it means. It's freaking me out. We don't want that. That's what gives e-collars bad names.
Yeah.
So, and that can vary in different situations, but for your situation, I want you to get your dog conditioned to the collar first. So, low level, you're going to start finding the working level. Then you're going to do like place command, which is basically you're pressing pressure on when you lead your dog on, and pressure off once he gets all 4 paws. And I'm going to link up one of the videos.
I was just going to say, link it up, baby.
And then he gets used to the sensation. He realizes he turns it off by completing the exercise. You could also do recall, but recall's a little bit more complicated to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you've done that for a couple days and he knows what the sensation means, in the crate,
It's go time.
It's go time, yep. And so say you're Leon Berger, who probably has thick fur, so you're going to need thick fur contact points and really good contact on him. Britt does a great thing. She parts the fur and puts the contacts there so it actually gets to the skin.
Yep.
So you want to make sure you get great contact with him. Maybe he's working, say, at like a 15 when you're doing place command, right? In the crate, you're going to want to at least double that. So start with doubling it, and you correct, and you say no when he starts to bark. I'm sure you've tried everything, right? You've tried
and if I can just jump in,
Yeah.
you can also not say no,
Yeah.
right? So if your dog's in a kennel in another room, you don't have to say no to correct,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can pair it. The only reason, and I'm going to let you jump
Yeah,
back
no.
in, but the only reason to pair that no is to give your no more value in other contexts.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times where we, like dogs in the kennel in the backyard,
Yeah.
it's just a correction,
Yeah.
right? So don't put pressure on yourself that you have to race in the room and say no. Just
if
pair
you-
it. Just
if you
pair
were
it.
in the same room and he's like bah, 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 barking at you, then you want to like, how dare you knock it off right now?
Right.
The interesting thing about this too is that you might see just by doing, because usually these things, well, 100% of the time, let's put it that way, these things don't live in a vacuum. So you don't have perfectly behaved, unbratty dogs. I'm like, what are you looking at? Kind of periscope. You don't have perfectly behaved, not bratty, not entitled dogs barking in the crate with a demanding tone like that, right?
Yep.
So usually they come with a couple other behaviors, which maybe you left off of there, and that's no judgment.
Yeah.
But my guess will be once you start doing that place command, that light place command with the e-collar, you'll probably see a different thing when you get in the crate. And I'm not saying totally 100%, but sometimes
Should be easier.
Yeah, just by adding a little bit.
Flanking the dog.
Flanking the dog.
I've heard about this concept.
So, yes, yeah.
And just to put like a fine point on this, because everything Laura said was like spot on, is that what this is going to come down to, if you want this to stop, I'm going to put it in really plain English, and a lot of people are going to be like, I don't like the sound of that. You need to punish that behavior of barking like a jackass in the crate. Doing that needs to become uncomfortable. Barking and being a maniac needs to be uncomfortable and give less payoff than all of the release he gets from rah, 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 rah. It's a simple process. We get every dog that comes into like Tony's place or our place, 9 out of 10 of those dogs are going to do the same exact thing when they're in the crate.
And it's super anxious behavior.
Yeah,
It's not
super
good
uncomfortable.
For them. It's
super uncomfortable. Yeah.
And it can lead to worse stuff. You know, if you're like, no, I'm going to keep you in there. I don't care if you bark. You can leave, and the dog can.
Even
pull
fearful
the crate apart.
dogs. Even fearful dogs.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Can be like, and people be like, oh, you can't correct a fearful dog. Do you know how unnerving and uncomfortable it is for a fearful dog to be locked in a state of like, I got to escape.
Panic attack.
Yeah. Pop, and the dog's like,
oh, I can't do that. Okay, what are my other options? Oh, just lay down and sleep. Oh, cool.
That sounds great.
That sounds great.
So your advice is right on spot on.
So basically, you want to start with that like double-ish level because you got a big guy, so you know, and then you have to find the level that actually where he goes, oh, okay, because you may get a level and he's like, oh, right? You correct him, oh, and then he's like,
is he saying ow?
Yeah, it's kind of like that's like mildly annoying, and then he's like, whoa, 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 again, right? You don't correct the same. You got to dial up because he's telling you that number didn't matter. Say you're at a 20.
Yep.
I just say, 15, whatever yours is. That number didn't matter. Okay, what's 25 like? What's 35 like? What's 45? He's like, oh, 45. I'm cool. Thanks, Mom. But I would suggest the whole program. If you got a dog barking at you like that in the crate, you might want to.
So it comes down to like, do you want to dive in, do a full program, right? Like a lot of times when based off the questions, the way people ask the questions, I kind of devise or we structure the answers based on like, if somebody's like, it sounds more like I want to deal with just the problem, which is not how we typically deal with it. But in this program, we'll give you kind of both. Laura's recommendation is to do the full Monty because you'll get a way better dog comprehensively. But if you're not down for that, you don't have the time for that, then do the preconditioning and then correct that dog and get that done. Keep dog training simple. Bad behaviors like that, make them uncomfortable, make them go away.
Yeah. And if we had a great bark collar, we could recommend that too as just a really simple, like...
I like remotes even though.
Yeah, no,
like,
me too. I just am saying
but I mean, if there was a great one,
than that,
it's really hard right now to find a great bark collar. Anyways, you ready to jam on it?
Thanks. Question number 3. This comes from Maddie Waddy, our girl. Hi guys, loving all your periscopes and other content. Thanks for all the great info.
Maddie might be on there right now. Hey Maddie.
Does she?
Oh yeah.
I've been experimenting with the dominant dog collar and I'm really pleased with the results. I just can't quite figure out why it's so much more effective than a slip lead at the top of the neck. Maybe because it's thinner than the average slip lead. Also, is using a short traffic lead part of the magic, or would any length of leash work with the dominant dog collar? Thoughts?
I think it's just the name.
Dominant dog collar.
I think the name is so imposing that dogs are just like, man, you put the dominant dog collar on me, I'm good, right?
He's a dominant dog, and he wears the right collar. Remember that was Polar Bear's stuff? Was he here?
I don't know. Hercules hasn't burst into flames yet, so I'd say no. That used to be Polar Bear had a
dominant dog,
and he wears the right collar.
He was
and he was, and he wore the right collar. All right, Maddie. So my guess, you hinted at like, is it because of the thinness of the diameter?
Diameter.
Of the diameter of the dominant dog collar, too many D's going on, and versus a slip lead. A lot of the English slip leads, the ones even that we use, you can get some that are thinner, but they don't get anywhere near as thin as the dominant dog collar. So I truly believe that's why. Like if the only other thing I would say is if the slip lead was slipping down and the dominant dog collar was staying up higher, that would be a benefit as well. But you know what you're doing, so I'm sure you've got the slip lead up high like that. So what happens is with a really thin dominant dog collar, the way it's distributing pressure around the neck is very specific. Like the actual area it's touching is really specific, and so it's coming in on the neck and applying pressure in a more kind of a tighter pattern, if that makes sense, rather than like
concentrated to that
right. So it's almost like rather than like if you look at this, hopefully you can see this, rather than this pressure of pushing on you versus that pressure of pushing on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So this disperses the pressure over a wider area. And then this,
I think she gets it now.
and then this, like this, is going to disperse it over a thinner area. So I think you're right on the money. The good news is, regardless, it works like the dickens for most situations like that. So anybody with a reactive dog or a dog who tends to amp up with a lot of tools and won't come down, get yourself a dominant dog collar. I was going to sing the song again, but I'm going to let it go.
It's a dominant dog, and he wears the right collar. We used to have tons of songs.
Yeah,
remember?
Polar Bear had a whole canon of songs. Anyways, let's jump out of this, unless you've got something else you want to say about the dominant dog collar.
I just love Maddie. That's all.
Yeah.
But also, I want to sing Polar Bear's other song.
Which one?
Polar Bear, always in his mother's hair, likes to bite all the time, chases it with a line. Look out! Here comes a polar bear.
I think that was written in New Orleans on a bike, wasn't it?
I'm sure.
I think we were riding bikes around the French Quarter.
I'm sure there's alcohol involved.
But there were 1,000 was it Spider-Man? Is that the Spider-Man song? Based on the Spider-Man song?
So
Hercules.
Herc.
Knock it off, whiny McNiney. So we had 1,000 songs based off Polar Bear, based off the Spider-Man thing, and then Polar Bear, and it ended up loves to chases it with a line.
Yeah.
It's just so cavalier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Totally. He's like
loves to bite her all the time, chases it with a line. Look out! He's just like chase it with a line.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
All right.
Let's move on.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah.
Hercules, you're in big trouble.
Question number 4. No, that's Cujo. Comes from Shauna.
Do we have a...
Yeah, I will do it. Shauna says, how do I stop resource guarding with children? It seems like he's bitten the kids after stealing high-value items when the kids try to retrieve them, like food or socks. And it happens once every couple months. Shauna,
okay, so whenever we're dealing with kids and resource guarding or biting, my first recommendation is for you to get professional help. It's the safest, coolest, smartest thing to do. Don't get sorry guys, I'm not going to trash anybody, but I kind of am. Don't call Barkbusters. Don't get a positive-only rewards-based trainer. Don't get somebody in there that's going to use treats and I'm going to counter condition with treats to where he doesn't want to bite the kids. Forget freaking that. It's time to get a balanced trainer in who knows how to work with dogs like this and create a nice change, right? So professional help if you can afford it, if you're down to do it. Get a balanced trainer who uses e-collar stuff. If you need help from us, email us at thegooddog.la@gmail.com, and we will try and put you in contact with somebody else. Now, besides that, if that's not a possibility, a full e-collar program, which means you have to purchase an e-collar, Educator Mini e-collar on your own. You can get it from Amazon. I'd highly recommend our DVD. You can start with our prong collar DVD and then go to our e-collar DVD, which just came out, or you can just do our free videos, whichever suits you best. You'll get far more information, detailed step-by-step protocols with the DVDs. Regardless, you need a full e-collar program, right? I also want you to do the out command. I've got an out command video, which is on my YouTube channel. Oh, is it right there? Hey, out command. I'm getting so used to it. I get so excited about this, linking it up. So the out command video is really important for resource guarding dogs, not just because it manages the dog, but psychologically teaches the dog to let go of resources it wants over and over again, which starts to switch the brain up a little bit, right? So that's important as well. So full e-collar program, out command, watch my videos. Don't be lazy. This is dangerous stuff. You've got a dog biting your kids. It's time to knock this crap out.
Huge.
Now, the next thing after you've done all that, come to Jesus moment with your e-collar for any nasty, crappy, shitty, untoward business towards your kids. That is so freaking unacceptable. Yeah. So if I had your dog and I'd done an e-collar program with your dog, and I knew, for one, I'm not going to, management-wise, I'm not going to set it up where I'm going to have bones all over the house and kids running around. I'm not going to create anything that's a minefield that's ripe for the pickings of trouble. Now, besides that, if the dog is just kind of randomly choosing oh, this is something important to me and I'm going to lay a kid out for it, or I'm going to correct a kid or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be, I may even set it up, but but I'm going to be watching like a hawk. And you know what I'm going to do with that e-collar? I'm going to roll it all the way up. And when the second I see at one of my kids, or a lunge, or heaven forbid, like try and move towards one of my kids in an untoward fashion, I'm going to press at 100 and I'm going to hold for about 3 or 4 seconds. And that dog's going to make the worst sound in the world, and that dog's going to learn, don't you ever freaking bite my kids again.
Yeah,
don't you ever freaking guard against my kids again.
Yeah.
Those kids are not litter mates, they're humans, and they are off limits to you, and stay the hell away from them. And if it sounds like I'm being like tough, it's because I am being tough, because like Laura said, this gets dogs killed, rehomed, surrendered. This gets kids face bites.
Or surrender a dog that's going after kids, having any sort of stuff. You just can't. You have to tell that to rescues, and they're like, sorry, we can't do that.
Yep.
They have too many like that. So, you know, what Sean's
even
talking
mild
about,
stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what John's talking about is no
Call
fun.
me John.
Yes, John. What John's talking about is no fun. It's a few seconds of, oh my gosh, that's the worst thing ever, for the dog to keep his life. And like, puppy hater 101. But more than anything, you need to get a professional trainer, because the thing with that too is that, like, there's safety protocols.
Absolutely.
With it, back tying the
I
dog,
would so much
sure,
prefer
like,
you get a pro on hand.
But if you do that higher correction, you've got to have that dog back tied or something where you're like.
Well, it depends. It depends on how the trainer's going to do it, and it depends on your dog. So all I'm saying is, like, if I'm recommending you get a pro trainer. If you do get a pro trainer in, I want you to have information about how you would like work with your pro trainer, because I don't want your pro trainer going like, yeah, we just teach him like sit or an alternative behavior, and even if they're using e-collar and we reinforce that, no, there needs to be a heavy freaking duty consequence. And so that needs to be talked about with your trainer if your trainer doesn't understand that. And if your trainer doesn't understand that, you're probably with the wrong person. But like Laura's saying, you can back tie your dog.
Yeah, make sure he can't actually close the distance, you know.
The problem with that is that my guess is that these bites and all of this monkey business is happening when you least expect it, and the dog's loosey-goosey wandering around and regular life's going on. Back tied, the dog would probably be like, I'm not going to make any mistakes or anything like that.
And I saw your profile picture. I snooped you a bit because I was just seeing where you were location-wise, and it looks like a big golden. So
it's a golden?
I think. So if it's just like little just like, I don't know, could be like minor stuff. If it's something like that, you can teach that out command, and he could be like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like never again. You could teach the out command at these lower levels, and then like just going up for a little correction thing. Then he's like, I'm good. Thanks, Mom. No worries.
Yeah.
You know. So you may never need that higher level correction. Sean's just telling you that that's something that a good trainer, if they know the circumstances, they're going to look into. If after they've tried other things like an out command and things, they've got to like.
Yeah. So if you do the foundation work, right? It's always double pronged, right? You do the foundation work, you do all of these commands, you get the dog's state of mind right, get him respectful, get him polite, get him in all that stuff. And if you see any residual stuff, that needs to be corrected. And the word, and I know everybody hates it, is punishment. And that's, in the scientific sense, punishment means diminishing a behavior, reducing the frequency or intensity of a behavior. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking to be violent, aggressive, nasty, crappy, angry, anything like that. We're looking to say, like, it's like your teenager walking up and slapping your mom. Or something like that. That's an unacceptable behavior. You do that in my house, and there's going to be hell to pay, right? Like, there's just some things that are just non-negotiable, and consequences are going to befall you if you do it. So that's my recommendation. Find a trainer. If you can't find a trainer and you have to do it yourself, freaking be really, really careful and go through these step by step. And if you need a phone consult with us, contact us and we can walk you through all that stuff.
Let us know if you need a recommendation.
Yeah. Please. We gave you the email, so do that. Knock yourself out.
Thanks. Good luck.
Yep. Be safe. Be safe. I don't like hearing about dogs biting kids. No.
Hopefully, I hope no one does.
Okay.
All right.
This one's yours.
Oh, Lord. Dawn.
You ready? I love reading these to you.
Question number 5.
Okay. Oh, it's case free here. Question number 5. How do you stop overprotectiveness? Right? She doesn't say that. My male dog growls and will try to lunge at random people. He doesn't do it all the time, and I haven't found a pattern in who he is choosing to react to. He will accept treats and pets from strangers and then choose to growl at them the next minute. It has only been on leash. He will bark at new people in the house, but after a few minutes, he loves them. I got a few problems with this, but I'm going to let you just rock and roll.
Yes. So this is, yeah. Yeah, so, okay. Dawn. The way you stop overprotectiveness is you know, train your dog. So, totally. So, my male dog
Can't wait to hear
growls
this.
and will lunge at random people. Yeah. So, my guess is, again, like the last answer, none of this stuff lives in a vacuum. We never have like great, balanced, healthy dogs doing that randomly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got to stop overprotectiveness by kind of overhauling everything. Now, a lot of people could say like, oh, you just correct for that behavior, but then you're kind of just band-aiding it. The last question we were answering was more about resource guarding, which is something you do want to just knock off totally.
Yeah.
But the overprotectiveness, it's coming from somewhere that we're like, that's going to trickle out everywhere else. So we want to kind of overhaul the whole thing. We need, you need to fully train your dog. Place command's going to help you. I would do e-collar training with any dog who's like growling at humans, e-collar, so that you have full control off leash.
To be able to say no.
To be able to say no in a way that he understands. If you wanted to go full out with it, it would be doing our full, like our e-collar DVD or doing our free e-collar videos. I think Cece's here. No, he's not. Or doing our videos, you know, on e-collar, which is like place, healing on leash, because I don't know, I wonder what your dog's like, you know, on leash. I wonder what he's like around the house. I wonder what else is going on. No treats. We're not giving guests treats anymore because you're literally like rewarding
pets.
Him growling. No pets. I would really check your affection levels everywhere.
Big time.
Yeah, check.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta take a sec.
Hang on, we'll be back to finish up with Dawn in just a moment. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir.
You good?
Yes.
Good,
yes.
good.
Yes.
It was good to see you last night.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
Yeah, I snuck out for a little Indian. So that means 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row.
It was quiet last night. It was quiet in there. It was like, had the place all to myself.
Cece, tell us about your week.
My week.
Yes.
Maybe.
What did you do this week?
Were you on the radio?
Not on radio.
Not on the radio?
Not on radio.
Okay.
And
Did you go anywhere? Did you do anything special?
same thing.
Same thing?
Is this cool still on?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing? No?
Oh, Cece, come on.
How many nights? How many nights did you work this week, or have you been working?
6 days
6
a week.
days a week.
So do you do lunch and dinner, or just dinner?
Lunch and dinner.
And which is busier, lunch or dinner?
Dinner
Dinner?
is better.
Better tips? Better tips?
Better tip. Yes.
Awesome. Great. All right.
Okay.
What's the most popular dish that people order?
I guess it is tikka. Tikka.
Masala?
Tikka. Chicken tikka masala.
Which is what we get every time, right?
Yes.
Right? All the non-Indian people
Yeah.
are like, chicken tikka masala.
What's your favorite dish?
Yes.
What's yours?
What is yours?
Lamb vindaloo.
Oh.
Oh, lamb curry.
Okay. Nice.
Oh my gosh, let's have Cece pick a name.
Okay.
Okay.
Cece, this is a contest for our viewers.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
You pick one out of here.
And real
Just
quick,
one.
what is it for? What are they winning?
I don't know. It's on the little card.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap. Wow,
So
this is a
pick
big
one out of
deal.
here.
Pick a good one.
Pick a good one.
Good luck to you. Let me do it, please, for you.
Just one.
The number coming up, it is. Give to Laura.
No. There we go. Read it.
That's hard.
Carmen.
Yes.
Carmen Jimenez.
Carmen
Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the winner.
What'd she win?
E-color DVD.
Carmen won the e-collar DVD.
ED.
DVD.
DVD.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
DVD. Okay.
Carmen has got Lola, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
She came and trained here.
Yeah. Hey, Carmen.
She wanted to touch us.
Big fan and
Yep.
uh-oh.
Let me
They're calling you.
answer the phone, please.
It's the boss.
Let's see it. Answer the
Hello, I'm here. 5 minutes, please. I'll be there
It's his
to
agent.
get more tip. See you later. See you later, Mr. Short.
We'll
Have
see
a
you
wonderful
soon.
night.
Thanks for stopping by, all right?
Okay, Laura. May I give you a hug, please? Laura. Have a good night. Okay. You
All
do
right.
okay.
Be safe, Cece, all right?
Okay. Bye, Laura.
next week.
Okay.
He is like an atomic bomb. He'd go, but he's like an atomic bomb of joy.
Of amazing, yeah. Just so cute.
Just laughter and
Okay, I just have to finish this question. So Dawn,
yeah, let's
Yes.
because this is an important one.
Yes.
And the reason I gave it to you is because I think you can. I want you to describe what we see a lot of with the male dog female dynamic.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So this is what I started with. It's a little bit of a stronger-willed dog, if you will.
Like you and
who's-
Polar Bear.
Yeah, that's what
Great
I mean.
example, yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of a softer owner. I didn't have any knowledge or tools or skills or anything when I started. And my dog had all the knowledge and tools and skills that he needed. So, and he was super, super dominant, super just like all this stuff. And that behavior that you're describing, not only, it's bad in general, but it's anxious too. It's nervous and uncomfortable. Yeah, that stuff where they're like, I'll take the treat and then I'll growl at you. It's conflicted. It's got weird stuff to it. The best thing you can do with a dog like that is give him information. You don't need to worry about those people. You stay on place. They'll just hang out here. And like you said, he's fine with them after a while. So you need to give him more direction, be less of his friend, and be more of his guide, owner and all that stuff. So,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
What is the one dynamic when we see female owners come in with male dogs? Not that it can't happen with male, it's very rare, but it does happen.
It does happen.
But what is the one dynamic that we see, the theme that runs through female owners and male dogs?
With tough male dogs and stuff?
Well, whenever we see possession, protective stuff.
So usually it's a female owner spoiling dog with too much affection,
Nurturing.
too little rules. Yeah, a lot of nurturing stuff, which comes naturally to a female. Comes naturally to me now. It came naturally to me then. It's not about fighting that stuff, but it's actually about finding the strength in the other side of you, which is laying down the rules so that your dog can be more comfortable in his own skin and so that your relationship can repair. Because right now, most likely, he's kind of walking all over you just because of what the dynamic you've set up. So I would suggest a full e-collar program. Get that dog in place. Don't pet him. Don't feed him when he's in that state. You don't want to do any of that stuff. You just want to get him in a good spot, and you're saying, you stay there, you don't move. People don't approach him, don't come up to him. Let them hang out in the house, and then if he looks comfortable, you can call him over, or they can go to him, or whatever. But the biggest thing is you need to advocate for him, you need to repair your relationship, you need to fully train him. Because that's why he's being overprotective.
Yeah, and I'll just add on just the very end here, because Laura did an awesome bang-up job with that, is that over and over and over again, we see the dynamic of softer owner with stronger dog, and the dog starts to become possessive. The female owner starts to become an object, starts to become an object of worthy of possessing, that can be possessed, right? And so all of our good intentions, especially with the females, they're good intentions to create this relationship, take care of this dog, nurture this dog, end up creating soft presence perception, and then dogs saying, I'm going to protect and own this. This is mine. This is my old lady.
They're not there. They're not like wired for that right now. They're domesticated now, unless you've got like a working breed dog that's built for that. But dogs, they don't want to protect. They don't want to like own and do all this stuff with you right now. They just want to be a dog. You take control of the situation so that he is more comfortable. When owners spoil and give too much affection and too little rules to dogs, it becomes the dog's undoing. We see it over and over and over. People spend thousands of dollars to come in here and have us tell them that, and they're like, shit, I see it, and I've been doing that. So.
Yep. Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Hopefully that helps. My last thing was like, do a little evaluation. Would you consider yourself more of your dog's lover or more your dog's leader? And be really honest with yourself about that.
Yeah.
Cool?
Cool. Thanks. Okay, guys.
Are we on?
We're on.
Oh, dear. Hi, guys.
So.
Is there somebody whistling? Is there a leak?
9. So we're going to get into this next question because Sean's still eating. I ate. I've got a little bit of like a jittery nerves or something. I'm like not that hungry.
Really? What are you jittery about?
Sometimes when I drink caffeine, I get a little jittery and my appetite goes away, which is terrible because then later it comes back like at midnight and I'm like where's the frozen pizza? All right.
It's not jittery because you need to go home and play drums.
Well, no, not at all.
By the way, guys, guess who got an awesome drum set?
Got an awesome electronic drum set.
Which is great because you can play it in your apartment at any time of night.
I play it all night.
And you want to play like hip hop style stuff, so you can actually get like hip hop sounds. Like, so if our videos like Q&A starts disappearing or anything like that, you know why. Want me to read this to you?
Yeah, let's read this. This is question number 6 from
Okay.
AJ.
Does it matter if there's curry sauce all over the
You could probably,
phone?
yes. Please don't like. Do you have curry on your phone? Oh.
No. Come on, I've got some coop here.
No, you've gotten chocolate on that phone before.
Okay, here we go. From AJ. Do you need any of the notey notes?
Go ahead, just read the question.
Wow, did you hear that? Oh, I wish Periscope was on so you guys could hear this. Like, hey, Sean and Laura. Coinciding with your good dog tip about familiarity, I have a client whose dog is people aggressive. They rescued him a few months ago. They told me he was very skittish in the beginning, but never aggressive. He now guards them in the house. I asked her to meet me outside. I asked her to please have him muzzled. When I got there, she fought me. She being the owner, fought me on it. Ooh, bad sign. I got out of my car and he was lunging and barking at me.
Oh.
I gave her my prong collar and leash and told her how to put it on him. Smart choice. I told her her husband should hold his leash and told her to hold mine. So she double leashed the dog. Smarty pants. Very nice work.
Very smart.
Good control. For any of you who don't understand what she's talking about, put 2 leashes on the dog, and then 2 handlers can really control the dog. I told her husband should hold his leash and hold mine, come outside with him, and then with them on either side of him. We walked for a while and we had a conversation. When I got to a certain point, I took the leash from her and told her husband if he goes for me to pull him toward him. The dog didn't go for me, and soon I took both leashes. Look who's getting into my stuff.
I'm getting stressed about that.
The dog didn't go for me, and soon I took both leashes and walked by myself. During the conversation, I found out, here you go, hold on to your seats, hold on to your curry, lady. I found out he sleeps in the bed, stays on the couch, and doesn't have a crate. He gets pet too much, etc. I got her to not have him sleep in the bed and to not give him affection. Listening to your Periscope when the pit was dropped off and learning that the whole dynamic had to be changed by crating, etc. was important.
Yeah.
After the walk, we went in the house and he was my best friend. The second visit, he still barked and came near me as close as he could. We did a training session and he was fine with me till I wanted to leave. He came toward me when I went to the door. She thought the muzzle, makes my skin crawl. She thought the muzzle was too mean. I told her if he bites someone, the consequences would be much worse. I also need to get this guy in a crate. They leave him out while at work. She says she's not petting him as much. She also takes him to the dog park. How do you get the owners to comply? This is such a good question for you.
It's just a good question for everyone, just in general, about human behavior. Hold on. So, the answer, AJ, the short answer is you don't get owners to comply. The owner should be the one pushing.
That's why we had her answer this one.
Yeah, this is like, I'm mad for you, but I'm also mad at you at the same time. Like,
This is, but just real quick,
Yeah.
everything Laura's about to tell you is what we went through initially,
Oh, yeah.
and how we completely restructured and overhauled our program
Yeah.
to make sure we don't get any of this monkey business.
yeah. And even while we were going through it initially, just like you, AJ, we were like, this feels so bad. Why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
It's the equivalent of going to a doctor and being like, doctor, my heart hurts so bad, right? And the doctor's like, okay, well, let me check your this and this. Okay, I need you to walk 15 minutes a day and cut out red meat. And you're like, but red meat's my favorite. The doctor's like, okay, but these are the things I need you to, this is what I've seen work. I don't know if this actually works. I'm just picking random stuff to say.
Go ahead,
But,
Dr. Morgan.
So, and then you're like, no, but I don't like walking. The doctor's like, but, okay,
But you're gonna die.
These are my recommendations, though. You don't want to die. I am not the one, okay, we can put this to the dog training thing. I'm not the one who's going to die from the heart thing that you've got going on. AKA, I'm not the one who's going to get sued when my dog bites someone. I'm not going to be the one to take my dog into the vet to put him down when he bites someone. I'm not going to be the one to rehome him because I can't, you know what I mean?
This is AJ talking,
Yeah,
right?
AJ, this is you saying, like, I don't really care what you think. You hired me as the doctor. And this isn't bad to your client. It's also not great for you. So, couple things here. Any dog that has these sort of issues, this is not something that you did great, like, safety protocols, but this isn't something that we're going to be going to someone's house for. This is going to be something, it's going to be a board and train, no doubt, 100%, at least. That, or if you don't do board and trains, have the dog come to you so he's out of his place, out of his territory, so you can train him kind of more fresh on everything and not be competing with the home and all that dynamic. So that's one. Second is this client would never even get through the door here, wouldn't even actually contact us to begin with, because what we put on our website and what we put on all our videos is pretty clear on all the stuff that you're talking about.
All the requirements of them.
Yeah. So when Brittany talks on the phone with the client, if they say something like, oh, well, he doesn't get crated and he's not going to, Brittany's going to be like, well, it's probably best you go back to the website, check out more videos, and then they usually don't contact us again.
Which is code for see you later.
See you later. Make sure. So, and it's not see you later like, I don't want you in my life. It's like, we're not a good fit. There are probably trainers out there that could do great with you, maybe that don't require a crate. Who knows?
All I know is that anybody who's in that kind of denial and saying, I've got these pain points, but I'm not willing to do the work or adjust my lifestyle to resolve these pain points, doesn't really want them resolved.
They don't want them resolved.
And it's not, but real quick, it's not your job to get them to the point where they're ready to resolve it. That's the basic human behavior part of this. Your job is not to take somebody and move them from one place to another. Your job is somebody reaches their hand out and says, I need help desperately, and you say, here's my hand, and you help them.
Like the doctor. So the doctor's not going to be like, look, Laura, I really, really want you, like, please, let me go to your house and I'll walk with you. He's going to be like, okay, like, do it or don't. I'm just telling you what
I'll see you in ICU.
Yeah, I spent 8 years in medical school or whatever, 10 years or whatever. I'm telling you what I know, right? So you shouldn't be in this disempowered place of having to talk owners who've got a biting dog into actually doing what you recommend. They're not dog trainers, so they're basically going against, if they've got a better solution, then they need to probably go find it somewhere else or train the dog themselves. So the reality is that you're going to people who already aren't on board for the tools or your whole kind of thing. You can remedy that by writing all that stuff on your website, making videos about it so that you don't get in this situation, making them come to you, or doing a board and train situation, because that's going to get a more qualified client. I don't know what your prices are like, but if you're working with human aggressive dogs and you're going to people's homes, I hope that you are, like, very expensive if you're skilled at that. Like, that's not something that's just like, oh, it's $500 for 8 sessions and I'll help your biting dog, and, like, I might get bit and spend $3,000 at the emergency room. and you don't even want to put a muzzle on him because he's mean, or that's mean.
It makes my skin crawl hearing that.
Yeah, so basically all of it's wrong, and it's not just the client's fault. So this is where a lot of trainers get into client bashing, and they get into, oh, she's so stupid, she didn't want to put a muzzle on the dog. It's like, you're so stupid because you didn't write it on your website, or you didn't tell them beforehand that they need a muzzle, and if they're not muzzling their dog, I'm not coming over.
Are you calling AJ stupid?
AJ, absolutely not calling you stupid.
You know she means that with love.
I'm not calling you. I'm just saying
No, in
trainers in general will
Yep.
bash their clients, and then, and this goes probably for lots of industries, and then
It goes
it's
for
like,
life in general.
but you're the one who's letting them in the door. So you don't, short answer, which is not a short answer, I'm so sorry, I just get heated by these. You don't need to make your owners comply. They need to be so excited to comply, and that's on you doing work beforehand, so that by the time that they call you or walk through your door, they're like, he's muzzle conditioned, like it said on your website, and like we talked on the phone. We got the crate last week. We got this, that, and the other.
It's time for AJ to come to T3.
Yes, AJ, T3 time.
Yeah, I
Or
mean
at
this
least
is
watch some Periscopes.
this
in
is
the
this
morning
is
before I'm talking.
this is exactly what we teach and what we talk about, and what we've worked so hard to create
Yeah.
different approaches for,
Yeah.
because exactly what you're talking about is what creates dog trainer burnout
Yeah.
and annoyed, frustrated, us against them kind of mentality with owners. Like, if you constantly deal with owners that are in this space, you're going to feel really crappy about owners.
Yeah.
But once again, like Laura said, the only way those owners get in the door is us allowing them in the door.
Yeah.
So it's really up to us, no matter how much you want to work with dogs, to say like, hey, no matter how much you might want to get married or be out on a date, doesn't mean you go out and date and hang out and get married to any jackass on the
Right,
street,
right.
Has to be a special good fit
Yeah.
for that to be a productive relationship, and the same thing goes for dog training.
Yep, definitely. Kill it, AJ.
Cool.
Don't take these people, really, because they're not looking for help, and even if you talk them into it, when you leave, they're not going to do it anymore.
Yep.
I've seen it 1,000 times. Okay, I love you. Any other questions to the email?
Yeah, we do love you. She wasn't trashing
No,
you, by the way.
I love you. I don't want, it makes me mad that you're in this
She's
situation.
mad for you.
Yes.
That's what it is.
But I'm also slightly mad at you, like I said, because I want you to take better care of yourself. I don't want you talking owners into that stupid
Please,
stuff.
please,
I want you,
please,
like,
please.
If you walk in there and you're empowered enough with all this stuff, and and someone started with that, someone said something like that to me, I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'll see you later. Like, this isn't even like...
There's obviously been a misunderstanding.
Yeah, we've had some things going on here. So I want you to take better care of yourself. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, of the answering
That
world.
was definitely the OSHA. See, don't
Now,
give me questions.
now you know what it's like. It's hard.
I don't want
but
to.
But it's hard because you want to give great value.
Yeah.
So that's where you get stuck. It's hard for any.
Those types of questions.
Don't
heat.
you
They add the
try.
heat. All right.
Number
Question number 7 comes from LaDawn.
It's gonna be quick,
This is a quick
fiery,
one.
succinct.
She says, holy moly, how cute is that guy in the pic? It was Junior, right?
Doodles.
I'd like some clarification on threshold training.
Yeah.
I'm not asking about a specific instance because I can't speak trainerese. That's not me being snarky at all. My dogs have to calm and wait before out of their kennels and at street corners, kitchen breaching, bedrooms, front
Yep.
door.
Yep.
They have to wait outside an eating area and called out to attend the dish in the order I choose.
Yep.
I also give a wait if we cross something that doesn't have an obvious boundary, but there's a need to observe the area for safety.
Good grief.
Am I overdoing it? I wish I could post a video so you could see our new service dog prospect leaping backwards at an out command. So funny, but truthfully he's sensitive and I don't want to ruin him. Literally straight up in the air and backwards jump, tail wagging and smiling, but not real dignified. So overdoing?
Okay, let me just jump on one thing at a time here, because we don't have really time to jump into both. But
Yeah.
so threshold overload, probably yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, everything you described some great stuff, right? And it's not going to ruin any dogs or anything
Yeah.
like that. But is it valuable use of your time? Is it a valuable use of your interactions with your dogs? I'd say probably not. And let me just run down what, for me, and here at the Good Dog, what constitutes valuable threshold focus, right? Meaning
Right.
focus of like, that's something we want to address, right? So I got some notes for you, lady. Here's what I look like. Here's what I look for with threshold training and prioritizing. whatever threshold makes a dog agitated, excited, or aroused is a threshold I care about. Whatever threshold a dog doesn't care about, I don't really care about. Now, if you want to keep the dog out of the kitchen and the dog just kind of slowly meanders into it, but he's not really excited, that's absolutely up to you if you want to keep that boundary. Totally cool. But the real value with threshold training, in my mind, is all about a dog is excited, agitated, aroused. I want out the front door. I want out the back door. I want out the crate. I want whatever it might be. I want out the gate to the front yard, whatever it might be. All I ever looked for when I was like developing this concept myself early on was, where do I see intensity? And if I don't see intensity, there's not a lot of value in going after it. Yes, you can pattern sits at corners and all that stuff, but like, unless a dog is like dying to jump off the corner or is like dying to get out the front door, what I see it a lot of is like coming out of the kennel, going out of like sliding glass door into the backyard after they've worked. Dog's like, cool, I'm done working, let me out of here. Right. Moments like that, I absolutely will be a stickler for threshold stuff, because those are high value moments where I sense a lot of intensity, a lot of intent, and I want to really make sure the dog understands when you're in that impulsive mode and you're on autopilot, don't you dare. Don't you dare just try and operate from that place. You listen to me and you wait for permission. So that would be my recommendation to you if you want to simplify your life a little bit. If you're down with doing all these other things, go ahead and knock yourself out. But my recommendation would be look for points of excitement, arousal, and intensity, and those would be the places that I'd prioritize going after threshold stuff. After that, it's a little bit overkill. Cool?
All right, we're on.
Cool. Straight from the horse's mouth.
Awesome.
I'm trying to make up for you.
Question number 8. No, these are not Laura. Let me ask you.
This is so easy.
I know, but it's better when I ask the question. Question number 8.
But I'm dishing it right back to you.
How do you get a good fit with a bungee collar for the educator? I can never tell if it's too loose or too tight. Trooper from Trooper.
Back to you.
Okay.
So you've got both your dogs on bungees with the educator, or actually with the pro.
Yes.
So just give a quick, like, very quick rundown.
Basically, it just has to be snug. I've marked it, or I have it set at just where it's snug on the dog, just like if you were doing a normal fit on a buckle collar, or on the buckle that it comes with. And then you just use that. You just keep it at that setting. So it's loose if the box is moving around, right? It's tight if it looks tight on the dog, right? Or it looks like it's constricting the dog in any way, and you can't get fingers underneath. That's too tight. So right in between where it's actually staying in the spot.
Oh God.
All right, 9. All right. 9. Cujo. Here. Bell. Stop. Cujo. 9.
I so wish Periscope was on right now.
Bell. 9. Stop.
Bell. Stop.
You can't. She loves him. They love each other. Cujo. Here. 9. Seats. No.
Here's the thing. Belle and Cujo have like such a like hot romance.
Love connection.
He gets up here and all she wants to do is wrestle and play with him. Sounds like she's gonna kill him, but all she wants to do is like go out on a date.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. This is our fit.
And do you have a like stay still command for him?
Yeah. It's just like when he dies. Okay. So.
When he's stuffed?
Yeah. So here we got our fit.
Can you guys see this?
I don't know.
Oh, I want to take it off real quick, just show everybody. Okay. All right, guys. So here's what she's talking about, right, guys? For those of you who don't know, this is Cujo's. He's on a pro. God, he's got all the fancy stuff. Like, what a spoiled young man.
No,
I'm just teasing. So he's got a comfort pad on here with longer points.
He wears it all day long.
Because he wears it all day long. And then the bungee cord right here, which gives it some stretch and gives it some give. She's also got this fancy clip, which is a quick release. So show everybody how you put it on, and then we'll kind of get a peek.
There's no movement in the box here. And you holding his muzzle?
Yeah, I'm just trying to like, so they can see that angle. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's not moving. I couldn't move it if I tried. It's not going to spin around the neck, but I can still get fingers under here.
That's maybe the most important point, guys. Whether it's a bungee cord or whether it's just a straight up strap, like we always talk about, once you put it on, it should go like this. When you move it, the neck should move with it. If it moves like this, independent of the neck, it's too loose, right? And if it makes them behave like that, it's probably not working. So.
Okay, bye. I don't know what made me think that calling him over to sit on the couch was going to be a good idea.
It was a good idea.
Okay.
It's good for entertainment. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Question number 9 comes from Chelsea. Chelsea says, "Hi, Sean. Hi, Laura. I'm a new follower of yours, and I found you through Jeff of Solid Canine. I've really been enjoying your morning scopes, even if I don't say much. Expect more hearts in the future. I have a deaf Australian Shepherd who's becoming aggressive, agitated, and fearful. I've had her since she was 13 weeks old, so I really feel like this was my fault. I socialized her as much as I could, but at the time I lived in a small remote town in Iowa, which meant there wasn't much to expose her to. I dismissed more than I should have because she's deaf. If she bit me, I let it go because it startled her.
Yep.
If she screeched, I let it go because she was deaf and didn't know better. Today she's the dog that will scream at any stranger she sees, jump, etc. because they're the best thing in her world. This is how she greeted me at the shelter, and I thought it meant she was the one. Turns out she does it to everyone new. It's bad. She won't stop until someone grabs her collar and drags her away. She has dog aggression. If she brought home a puppy. And
yeah, it's gone after the puppy.
Yeah, gone after the puppy. I thought I was making some progress, but after discovering you and Jeff, but I suffered the worst bite yet while trying to reward her for good behavior. She didn't growl. She didn't have body language indicating. She just went directly to biting with full intent.
I promise she had some kind of indicator, though.
Yeah. I did a lot of things wrong with this dog, otherwise she wouldn't be this way. I never knew about prong collars, e-collars, and the only training I'd heard of was all positive.
Yeah.
I managed to get sitting down using hand signals, but not much else. At this point, I just wanted to not have behavior problems. Unfortunately, I'm disabled and on a fixed income, so it will take longer than I would like, but I will be investing in both an educator collar and your e-collar DVD. This may be too much to address on Q&A, but anything you will say will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for sharing so many videos and periscopes. You give people like me hope that mistakes can be fixed and that there aren't broken dogs."
Oh, Chelsea. So Chelsea, 9. So Chelsea, this your story really touched us because I think a lot of people watching this show, a lot of people not calling in, but writing in, have been down the road that you've been down.
Yeah.
I know I've been down that road. I know Laura went down that road initially with Polar Bear. I know Brittany. I know everybody has really been down that road of like, you don't know, you're doing the best you can, you know, especially if you've got like a deaf dog and you think that like the screeching, the dog doesn't know,
Right.
and the biting, the dog has been startled, right? You're giving the dog a lot of passes.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of nurturing and spoiling and emotional stuff going on.
Yeah.
So,
Just not
but,
knowing.
Yeah, just not knowing. But so first thing I want you to do is just like let go of the guilt. Like, let's just start fresh. Let's let go of any of the guilt. Let's let go of feeling crappy, shitty, whatever about however things are right now. It's just start over. Let's let it go, and let's fix it. Okay. So that said, like you said, you want to get the e-collar DVD and the e-collar. That's fantastic because what your dog needs is a full e-collar training program. Your dog, and you can use hand signals. Maddie, stop. Your dog, you can teach your dog hand signals for all the different stuff, right? Her dog's deaf, right? So you can teach your dog sit, down, place. There's a variety of different ways to do that. I don't show that in the DVD necessarily, but like you can use this, which is a very typical, like if you've done food training, that's a very typical, like over the dog's head, something like that. Some people will point for down, but this is a much more common way to teach sit. This is a common hand signal for down. What I used for place was a dog would be coming towards me, and I would do this over the place command, and that worked really nice. I would do this, which I'm pretty sure is a standard recall for. I wanted to say somebody taught. I remember it's a while back,
Jeff
like
yeah.
for like deaf dogs, something like that. So that I used the vibe button, or depending on the dog, low level stimulation to get the dog's attention, to be able to give the dog a command, right? So with a deaf dog, you can't just like, hey, you've got to get the dog's attention first. So if the dog's laying over in place, then I give the dog a really low tap. The dog learns to look up to me, then and I might even say come, because like the dog can't hear me, but it helps you with your timing. Say the commands, come, and then the dog comes towards me, place, and then down, and you can just pair all those things, right? So that's just a real quick kind of like tutorial on deaf dog stuff, but here's the bottom line. So your dog needs full e-collar training. Dog's in a bad way. Your dog needs tons of structure. Your dog needs almost zero, lower will probably say zero affection, zero touching. Like let's get rid of this like reinforcing, like all this bullshit about, I'm sorry, but like, I'm going to give you pets, I'm going to give you touch, I'm going to give you love, I'm going to give you food for doing good work. Screw that. That's done. Now it's time for like, toe the line, bust your ass, do the work I asked for you, not you, but your dog, and change this whole dynamic from you being a soft presence to you being a firm, leadership-rich presence that your dog will now have respect for and make different choices about what to do in your presence and out of your presence, both biting you and going after the puppy. Now that said, here's the big one. It's an ass whooping, right? Your dog needs an ass whooping once e-collar trained, and that sounds really rough, but I'm just going to put it out there, for any crappy behavior, right? And typically crappy behavior towards you, snarling, the screeching, right? So your big things are screeching whenever it's excited or aroused, biting whenever it doesn't like something, going after the puppy. Those are, and in a perfect world, going after any small things where you see like the smallest emanation of that problem, crappy behavior, and knocking it out with the e-collar. No guilt, no feeling bad, no she's deaf, no like she's a wreck because she's been allowed to be. Not your fault, but that's what's gone on. So we got to switch this, right? So it's going to sound harsh, but punishing this crappy behavior is the only way you're going to get to where you want to go. You will not get there by reinforcing or asking nice stuff or rewarding or giving any of this stuff. It's going to be about correcting this stuff and letting that dog know unequivocally, do not ever do that again. Like that is how it goes down. So once your dog's conditioned to the e-collar, then I want you to start correcting for any kind of crappy behavior, and I want you to do it with firm levels, and I want your dog to be very, very, very concerned about you. Especially if you're disabled and your dog can see that you're disabled, I want you to work at higher levels because they will absolutely take advantage of you, and I want you to bust your dog's ass in that house and say, I run this place, knock the crap off, and if you don't, here's the accountability, here are the consequences, and they're going to suck, right? So, and I think, let's see, yep. And then, of course, the lifestyle overhaul, which we've kind of already hinted about. Affection, touching, right? All that stuff. Like, you listen to Jeff Gellman long enough, he'll make sure you get that. So that's what I recommend to you. It's a tall order, but something we wanted to do for you is if you'll email us at thegooddog.la@gmail.com, we'd like to give you or send you out the e-collar DVD, right? So I know you're on a fixed income, and I know that you're disabled, and I know you're saving up for the e-collar. You're actually saving up, no, for the DVD, but for the actual e-collar. So we want to do is kind of meet you halfway, and hey, and help you out. So if you'll email us your address, we're going to send you out a copy of the DVD so you can get a head start on this. Even before you get your e-collar, you can watch, and start to get yourself.
Foundation off of our free videos, and we just want to do that for you, and because we really
actually let's send her both DVDs.
Whoa.
Let's send her prong and e-collar. This makes me so mad.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at like the lack of information.
Yeah.
And people getting railroaded into like treating their dogs in a way that's going to cause all these problems.
Right.
So I'm happy to be like the Cape Crusader without a cape. And
we'd
so
love to see some video, and we'd love an update or
Yeah.
anything like that would be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
So just good luck, and
Cool.
email us your address, and thanks for sharing. And
Yeah.
we're glad that you found us.
yeah, so that's it with questions. We've got an update from Nadia.
We're going to finish this episode number 73. I can't believe 73.
We're almost in our 80s, like
Crazy.
both episodes and otherwise.
Age. We're going to finish this off with an update from Nadia. Nadia says, I thought I'd give you an update. Reminder, I asked you a question about 2 dogs that did a board and train and then had been following a strict regimen with their owners for 30 days. They were dog and people aggressive, but they were always okay with each other. Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they got tense.
That's why this is so great.
Yeah, during the 30 days back in the home of the owners, they stopped playing with each other, and they were actually uncomfortable with each other, which was new.
Let me pause. So this question came in, and it was something we'd never heard before, right? We never
we
really
were
had
that's kinda weird.
a board and train.
Yeah.
2 dogs that got along really well, went home and started having tension between each other. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird one.
Let me check the batteries.
We good?
We're still good. Yeah,
Cool.
we can finish this
Sorry, we always have a little battery anxiety.
So, okay, so listening to you guys gave me more ideas for questions that I need to ask the family to find out what was going on.
Awesome.
I love this part. You both helped with that, but Laura ended up being spot on. Just kidding. With the fact that one of the dogs who had been in the home for many years was not happy with the New World Order.
I think I really said that.
I'm sure we can. A lot of these guys, they get in pouty mode when they've been ruling the roost for years. He was acting resentful and pushing back regularly. The other dog had taken to the training like fish to water, and he's completely comfortable and would love to play. It's all the other dogs still being bratty and pushy and not happy with the way things are currently going and not being in control of every situation he's in. That's super common. I started having them pattern the dogs more and spend more time together in place, which they had kind of slacked off, and just let things work themselves out because the spoiled dog just needs to settle into the new structure. He's behaving well, he's just unhappy about not getting to make the decisions on anything anymore, and I really think that makes him unsure of himself as well. Really appreciate your help, you guys are truly the best. Oh, that's such a great update. And not
Awesome,
just
right? Not just because you were like, Laura said just the right thing.
No, you know what's funny? And this is like, I've told Sean this before, but Sean comes in with all like the bread and butter, and I get to sit. I get the luxury of getting to sit here for the 6, 7, 8 minutes that he's doing this and formulate something in my mind that's totally like not what he's talking about, which the bread and butter is like the main answer of the question.
But it's so cool to get that perspective.
Yeah, I get to hear it and go like, okay, what else? Because this is what we do all day long, or especially when I was like training more here, we'd like, you know, with dogs and stuff, or with talking to owners, you know, Sean would talk, I'd be listening to him, watching them, I'd come in with something, he'd do the same, like watch me, and they're like, and we get to the bottom of things. It's kind of the same thing we're doing with questions. So that I can guarantee you, Nadia, was probably me sitting back, listening to Sean do the bread and butter, and then me peppering something in. I was like, let me just see if this like low pressure kind of like, because you covered
That's
it
the
all.
magic. That's the magic. And the same thing happened like as you were doing questions.
Right.
I got to do a little bit of the peppering as you did the
fun.
bread and butter. So, but awesome.
Yeah,
The real great news is just that you found some answers with your dogs, and also some questions to ask your ask your owners.
Yeah.
Like I just love that we're being able to add some value for you guys. So it's pretty fantastic. Guys, we need to get out of here because we're trying desperately to keep this show at an hour, and it doesn't seem to matter what the hell we do. It just keeps wanting to go longer and longer. Maybe we want to do a mini series or something like that, like a daytime soap or something. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. We love you guys so much. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the support. Big congrats to,
Carmen.
are you elbowing me? Big congrats to all the winners.
Yeah.
Carmen won tonight.
Yes.
Compliments of CC. Big ups to Carmen. I really want to just let everybody know I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And
we do love you guys, and we love you checking in, and we love the updates. Oh, the updates just make our day.
We'll see you soon, and keep the questions coming, and more giveaways coming down the pike.
Definitely. Okay.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.